That's my mom and me and my brothers just before we moved to Alabama. I'm the little one. I always tell people that we had a pretty happy childhood, but I usually have trouble explaining why I grew up in Alabama, or rather, why my family picked up and moved away from grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins.
Well, some people, when I say, that I lived in Alabama, they go, "Why'd you live in Alabama?"
What do you tell them? Why did you live in Alabama?
I say that we moved to Alabama because we felt like that's what God wanted us to do. And then they say, "Was your husband a minister?" And I say, "No, he wasn't a minister." And they go, "Well, I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it did at the time."
But still had the feel of they're moving to be with people that they consider family, but they're moving away from the real family. I think that kind of sums it up. It's almost that she's choosing her family when she moved in some ways. I think they all, both Lori and her mom were Christians, so they understood the religious aspect more than I did. But I think they still thought it was outside the mainstream a little bit.
I grew up in that church. They were my extended family. It didn't fit the traditional model of a church that most people understand, so that makes it even more difficult to explain my childhood. This is a project that's been on my mind for years, and every time someone asks me where I'm from, it gets brought up all over again. I left Alabama when I was 18 and moved back to California for college, and I haven't been back to the South since. To tell this story, we're going to go across the country to interview people that were a part of this movement and see how it affected their lives. The migration that my family was a part of is just one example of the Jesus movement, an important piece of American history. I don't feel like this is just my story. By making this documentary, we're trying to tell the story of all these families and the way it changed their lives.